Right guys, in this section what I've decided to do is start with the end. So before we get into actually using this Artisteer stuff, I'm going to show you, once you get what you see on the screen here to the way you want it, or if you want to test it live on your website, I'll show you the process of getting it out of Artisteer and actually attaching it to the WordPress website that we built, because that's an important step. And once you've got that knowledge, then you can mess around with it all you like, and when you're ready to test it you can just export it to the main website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use one of the built-in templates. I'm going to go to File, New, and then New Project. I'm just going to use one of these built-in ones here. So let me just pick one out random. That one looks quite nice with the plant on it. So click on that. Depending on how fast your computer is, because Artisteer it's doing a lot of calculations for you. It's saving us all the time and hassle of having to learn website programming code and all that, and it's generating everything for us behind the scenes, which why like that took a few seconds to do. And my computer's it's reasonably powerful, but it still takes a bit of time. This is actually quite a nice one, to be honest. So yeah, look at that one, it's quite nice. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Assume we'd built this, and you'll find out how to build that in the next few sections. You'll notice on both the home page and up here you've got an export feature there and there. That does exactly the same thing. Okay, so I usually use this one just for fun. So you click on it. This is going to export this design out of Artisteer, and it's going to turn it into, you can see here, a WordPress theme. Okay, WordPress skin, same thing. So it's saying, what do you want to call it? Because it's going to pick all this apart, all this stuff. It's going to take the images, it's going to take the text, it's going to pull it all apart into little pieces, so that when we give it to WordPress, WordPress can put it all back together again. That's just the way it works. So I'll call this is called Green Claw Web Design and Internet Marketing. Oh, how strange. This one seems to be a template for a web design company. So I'll call this Green Clue, not Green Claw, Green Clue. And I always like to keep track of how developed my themes are. So I'll put a V for version and then like 0.1, which means it's not even version 1 yet, it's just 10% of the way there. Then it'll ask us, is this path, this is where we want to actually save or export it to, and I always put it on my desktop in a little folder called temp. So do that. The only other thing you want to do before you export it is click on the options button, because this will actually give us a few other things that we can do. In the general section, it's saying here what's your text direction, because left to right is English, but some languages like Arabic and some script languages, they go the other way. So the sentences start on the right hand side of the page and go backwards. So if that's the case for you, then you just change that to right to left and it will sort that out for you. Leave that responsive web design thing on yes, because it'll help the site to be compatible with mobile phones, iPhones, iPads and all that kind of thing. Okay. CSS options, I'd leave that alone if I were you, because this is all the code to do with coloring the site and so on. Next one is the description section. Here you can stick this information in. Sometimes, like when you create a Word document in Microsoft Office or in another word processor program, you can put your author name in and things like that. So you can, you put your name in here, put your website address in there if you want to. This is just so later on you know, if you've got lots of different themes that you've created, this will just keep track of which ones are which. And this is actually the version number that's built into the template, so I'll just put 0.1 in there. Template URL, that's like if you can make a business out of making these templates and then selling them to people if you want to. And if you wanted to advertise, your service doing that, you'd put your website address in there. Description, this is the description of the actual theme itself. I usually take this out, Artisteer generated theme, because I don't particularly want people knowing that I've generated it with Artisteer. I'd quite like them to think I'd built it myself. So I'll get rid of that. That's a technical thing. It doesn't really matter whether you put the widgets and thingy in there, just leave that alone. Watermark, this is just to stop people from stealing your theme. You can put like some text over the top of your theme so that if anyone steals it, but it doesn't really make a difference at this point. So leave that as it is. Footnote, you'll notice right at the bottom, let me just click OK on this. I know I won't. Right at the bottom of the page it says designed with Artisteer, and then the Artisteer is a link to their website, and it'll also say powered by WordPress. And again, I don't really like that kind of thing because it's just a distraction. If we're building a website for a purpose, we don't want people going off to look at Artisteer and looking at WordPress. We want them to stay on our website and read the information that we've given them. And you know, we've got these calls to actions, we've got this most desired action, we want them to give us a call. We don't want them to start looking into Artisteer and what it is and what WordPress is. So I always untick these two because I don't want those as distractions. And then finally we've got a WordPress option here, which is to it's saying, do you want to show the homepage button on the main menu? Some people put that as no, because you can have the logo as clickable, which it normally is clickable, to go to the homepage anyway. But that's assuming that the website visitors know to do that, if that makes sense. It's probably a good idea if you've got lots and lots of menu buttons and you're struggling to fit them all in, then you might want to disable that and say no, don't show the home item. But in the majority of cases, leave it there. It says what do you want to call it? Call it the home button. That's absolutely fine, and that's all we need for the options section. Click OK. You can't really get that bit wrong, so don't worry about that too much. And that's it. Click on export. Now it's going to do what I said. It's going to it was going to take the thing apart, but it's complaining when I click that. Look, it's saying the file name is invalid. You can't have dots in it. So I forgot how I handle this. I usually put P 0.1 rather than a dot, so you can't have dots in it. So now we've sorted that out, click export. It should let us do it this time. There we go. And that'll export it to the folder that I asked it to export it to. Now if I bring up my temp folder, ignore those little files there, they're just to do with this recording. There you go, green clue 0p1 folder, and inside that is all the bits and bobs. This is all the components of the theme generated for us. Now ordinarily, if we wanted to do it the hard way, we'd have to learn PHP programming and CSS programming and create all these files ourselves by hand, and it would have took us forever. Yeah? Or we'd have to hire an agency that employs someone who knows all this stuff to do it for us. And because that person has a salary, because that person's been on lots of training courses, they have to charge quite a bit of money in order to do that. And that's precisely why you bought this little training program, so you don't have to do that. You've got the Artisteer software. We've used Fantastico to generate WordPress for us, and we've bought some good hosting and some good domain name suppliers so that it all meshes together very, very quickly indeed. So the next thing we want to do, this is no good at the moment, it's just sat on our computer. So we want to move this and upload it to the web server. And can you guess how we do that? Yep, we use FileZilla. So open up your FileZilla. I've just clicked on my shortcut, there we go. There's my FileZilla. And we go up to, you can either go to File and Site Manager, or you can click on this little icon here, Open Site Manager. And there's the site saved from earlier on. This is my webcatalystdemo.co.uk site, hosted with Liquid Web. It's saved all my details, which is lovely. So I can either double click on this, or I can just go down to the bottom and click on Connect. And that will then establish a connection with the web server, log in for us, and we'll know when it's logged in because, there we go, the files on the hosting server will come up here. Now remember, don't touch any of this stuff. You want to straight away go into the public_HTML folder, because that's we want to be working inside that folder. Leave the rest of it alone. Okay. Now WordPress stores its themes inside here. So you've got WP admin. See that? That's the control panel. So you know when we go to whatever our website, in my case it's webcatalystdemo.co.uk/WP-admin. When we type that into our web browsers, it goes into that folder, and that folder contains the WordPress control panel, where we mess around with all of the WordPress settings and the content. But for now, we want to go in here, WP-content. So let's double click on that, give it a second, see all the log going on here, and look at this. There's a themes folder. Double click on that one. And WordPress comes with two basic themes. When we installed it, when we viewed it, we saw that white page with the black menu and the header images, right? I think that's the 2011 theme it's called, which is this one. So it has to come with a theme, otherwise it just wouldn't work. You just have the technology with no skin. So it comes with those two skins, so you can actually, make sure it's actually working. But we want to upload our own skin. So here I am on, this is the left hand side. Remember, this is the files on our computer. So what I normally do is scroll right up to the top, click on desktop. I was already there, but in my little temp folder, that's where my green clue 0p1 theme is. And all I have to do is either click and drag it across here, which when I showed you the first time, that's what I did. But this time I'll show you the other way of doing it, which is to right click on it, and there we go. You've got an upload option, which I'll select. It then puts all the files in that folder into a little queue, and one by one it'll start uploading them to the web server. So we'll just wait for that process to finish, and I'm going to pause the video while that happens. Right, I've just turned the recording back on a second here because a little box has cropped up, and just in case it pops up for you as well, I want to tell you what to do with it. So this is saying that the target file already exists. What it means is it's found a file on my computer, like C drive, desktop, temp, green clue, which is an image in here. It's a .png, and I happen to know that's an image type. It's called screenshot, and it's saying it's this size, 83,000 bytes, and what it's trying to do is upload it to this folder, the public HTML folder, which is on the web server, inside the WP content folder, inside the themes folder, and it's going into this here, green clue 0p1 folder. And it's saying, well, one's already there. That's not actually true, because there was nothing there before, but sometimes it does that. If it doesn't successfully upload the image the first time, or if it gets part way through the upload and fails, it'll actually put that file back into the queue, this queue here. So it'll try and upload it again. So that's what it looks like's happened here. It's got, see, there's only 35,000 bytes. It's saying the one that's on the web server is only 35,000 bytes in size, but the one we're uploading is much, much bigger. So that suggests to me that it tried to upload it, got so far through, and then had a problem. Maybe the connection was interrupted or something like that. And that's normal. That's normal. That's why we have FileZilla, because it takes care of this stuff for us. Now, because this one's larger, I'm going to assume that this is the correct one, and especially since we've never uploaded this before. So you've got all these actions here, and by default the overwrite action is enabled, and that just means whatever I'm uploading, overwrite the version on the web. Yeah, and that's usually what you want to do, because we've obviously just exported that from Artisteer and we want to upload it now. So we just click OK, and then that'll just put it back into the queue and then upload it for us. As it happens, my queue is almost finished. As you can see, there's 3 files left, 2 files left, 1 file left. Done. And you know when it's done because this queue will be empty, and this log up the top here will stop babbling. Yeah, because it's showing you all the communication it's doing with the server. And once it stops, and when this is empty, there's no more files in the queue, all that stuff should have been uploaded. And if we double click on that, it'll show us what's in it. There we go. And if we double click on this one, it looks pretty much the same, right? So it's just it's copied and pasted, copied and pasted, copied and pasted each individual file for us. Now they're all absolutely identical. Okay. The important bit is that we've put it in the right folder. We've put it in the public HTML folder, and we've put it in WP content, themes, and then this doesn't matter, this is what we've called it, green clue. The important thing is that it goes in the themes folder, which is inside WP content, which is inside public HTML. Okay. So now if we just close FileZilla, see that's the file we just uploaded, so I'm just going to minimize that. And I'm going to minimize my Artisteer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load up my web browser. So I'm going to open Firefox and bring it over here. Now I want to log into my WordPress admin. So I go to www. Where am I going? Web Catalyst Demo, because this is the site I'm playing with. and I've already been there before. Look, webcatalystdemo.co.uk/wp-admin. So I'll go there. This is the WordPress control panel, remember? Okay, so here's the control panel. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky here. I'm going to open a new tab so I can switch backwards and forwards here. So I'm going to show you, before I log in, what the site looks like at the moment. So I go to webcatalystdemo.co.uk, which is this one, and it's going to load there you go. This is the default theme. This is the 2011 theme, which is grey background, white background to the main site, header images, black menu with grey hover, and black links that go blue when you wave over them and all that. It's boring. And here's that little link here, proudly powered by WordPress. Now we unticked something in Artisteer that says don't bother showing a link to WordPress, and don't bother showing a link to Artisteer either, because we don't want people distracted by it. So that's cool. Let me just close that. Now that's going to change in a second. So this is already in here because I opted to have Firefox save my username and password. If you want it to do that and you haven't done it before, type in username, type in your password, and then tick the remember me box, okay? And then it will do it for you. Click on login, and we're back on our familiar dashboard. Remember, we're working with themes here, so wave your mouse over the appearance button and go to themes, because that's what we want to work with. Okay? Just because we've uploaded that themes folder, it doesn't automatically do anything with it. We have to tell WordPress to use it. So here we are in the themes manager section, and you can see at the moment our current theme is 2011 1.3 by the WordPress team. So the WordPress people have actually built this for us. Okay, and here are our available themes. We've got 3 of those folders. You remember, you see here that this says all of this themes files are located in themes and green clue 0p1, which is the folder we just uploaded. Okay, and similarly with this one, this is the 2010 theme, which is in themes 2010. So these were the 3 folders we saw inside the themes folder, didn't we? So we saw themes, and we saw green clue, we saw this one, and we saw this one. But this one's currently active, but we don't want that one anymore. All we have to do is activate a different one. That one will come down here as being available, and this one will go up there as being current. So I just click on activate. Give it a second. Oops, just waved over the menu there, so just leave that for a second. There we go. It says new theme activated. This theme supports widgets, so go to the widget settings section to configure them. Let's not go there yet. I'll teach you that bit later on, but this is just to show you the process of exporting, uploading, and then activating themes. Now, as if by magic, if we bring our mouse right up to the top here, this how to build your own website. Remember, that's the site, the title that I gave my website, which is why it's called it that. So you can either click on that or click on the visit site. Doesn't really matter the difference. And it should show us the site with a different skin on it. There we go. Now you'll notice it doesn't look exactly the same as the one we exported from Artisteer, because it's only uploaded the theme. Okay, the content is just the same as it was before. Look, we've got a sample page, a home page, and it's showing the list of blog posts, which is this Hello World blog. And if we click on it, it's going to show us that. So it's literally the theme, it's the style, the skin of the site, and then we have the power to put the content in ourselves. You'll also notice it's got my site title here, that how to build my own website. Now there is a way, which I'll show you in a future video, of building an entire site in Artisteer so that when you upload the theme, it looks exactly like it did in Artisteer. You think, well, why haven't I done that this time? Well, because some people might not want to do that. You might want to get to this point and then start building it through the WordPress admin system by going to like the page names like we did before. Let's have a look what that looks like. So this is the same wording that was on it last time, but it looks different now because it's using the green clue theme. And a theme is just what it's saying, use these types of fonts. If there's a quote, give it a blue background, and we can change all this stuff. you see now the links are blue and they're green when you wave over them, and there's an underline when you wave over them. We can change all this stuff in Artisteer. This is all part of the theme. We can change all that stuff in Artisteer before we export it, and we'll get to that. So just before we finish this section, if I wanted to edit it this way around, you could just click on the site title or dashboard to go back in to the site here, go into the control panel again, and I could go to the pages section, and I could click on new, add new, and I could give it a name. So this is enter the title here. I'll call it test page 1. This is the wording that will go on the page. Text wording. Move my mouse over to the right hand side here. Because this is a brand new page, it says publish instead of update because it's brand new. Click on publish. Give it a couple of seconds. And once it's created that new page for us, it will allow us to view it. There we go. So this yellow bar says page published, view page. And there we go. It's automatically added it to the main menu, and it's got my test wording on it. See, it says edit there. That's because we're logged in as an administrator. If I take my mouse up to the top here where it says howdy and click on log out, and then that logs me out, and I click on back to, and it'll say your site title, how to build my own website. There we go. Now we're logged out. This is exactly what it'll look like to the average website visitor. And if I go to test page now, it won't have that edit link on it. This is pretty poor at the moment, but I was just showing you how the theme export process works. Okay. So in future videos, I'm going to go break this all down step by step so that you can build each one of these elements in Artisteer before you export it. But I wanted to do this bit first, so as soon as you're ready, you know how to export.